I want to share a tip.
The most private Duggar just dropped the most shocking news of all. After years of silence, Jana Duggar breaks the mold with a surprise pregnancy that no one saw coming. But what's even more shocking, Wisman's unexpected reaction. Is this the beginning of a Duggar family fallout, or a brand new chapter no one predicted? Buckle up. This changes everything. Jana Duggar, long considered the most private and elusive member of the Counting On family, has shared the news that she is pregnant. The announcement came in a quiet yet powerful way, shared through a cryptic Instagram post featuring a delicate pair of baby shoes resting on a worn Bible. The caption? Just 3 simple words: God's perfect timing. While Jana didn't immediately confirm the identity of the baby's father, speculation has already taken over online forums and Duggar fan pages. Many point to Wisman, the Nebraska-based pilot and businessman who was long rumored to be courting Jana in secret. Their relationship, while never publicly confirmed by the Duggar family, sparked intense debate and curiosity over the past few years. But it's Stephen's reaction to the pregnancy that has truly caught everyone off guard. According to sources close to the Wisman family, Stephen was completely blindsided by Jana's announcement. One insider claimed he had no idea she was going to go public like this. They've had a complicated relationship, but no one expected her to break the news alone. Others say the couple had quietly parted ways months ago, and this pregnancy may not have been planned, at least not by both parties. And then came Stephen's response. Just hours after Jana's post went live, he took to social media himself, breaking his silence with a surprisingly emotional message. He wrote, "Life rarely follows the script we imagine, but faith, grace, and love guide us through the unexpected, praying for peace and clarity in the days ahead." While he never directly referenced Jana or the pregnancy, the timing and tone of his message left little doubt. What makes this revelation even more shocking is how well Jana had kept things under wraps. Unlike her siblings, who often share every detail of their lives with the public, Jana has fiercely guarded her privacy. She's rarely posted on social media, doesn't speak to the press, and has largely stayed out of the limelight since Counting On was canceled. So for her to make such a bold and deeply personal announcement is a huge departure from her usual quiet, composed persona. Fans are reacting with a mix of awe, confusion, and overwhelming support. One commenter wrote, "She deserves happiness more than anyone. I hope this is the start of something beautiful for her." Another said, "My heart is breaking for her. The pressure from that family must be enormous." The big question now is, what happens next? Will Jana finally step into a new chapter of independence? Will she face backlash from her conservative upbringing? And will Stephen step up or step away? And what about the Duggar parents, Jim, Bob, and Michelle? So far, they've remained completely silent. No public statement, no social media posts, no confirmation or denial. Insiders suggest the family is in crisis mode, scrambling to respond behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Jana is reportedly staying with a close friend outside of Arkansas and focusing on her health, privacy, and emotional well-being. She has not commented further or granted any interviews yet. One thing is for sure, the Duggar family dynamic has shifted in a way we've never seen before. The quietest sister has now become the center of the biggest controversy the family has faced since Josh Duggar's trial.
Nearly a year after tying the knot, Counting On's Jana Duggar revealed when she and her now husband Stephen Wisman reconnected following their initial romance rumors back in 2020. A year ago, I was sitting in my house finishing up some last-minute assignments while Stephen was doing some office work, Jana wrote via Instagram on Wednesday, May 7th, in a tribute dedicated to her husband. In the photo, the former reality star looked cozy on the couch with her laptop on her lap as she leaned in close to Stephen, 31, for an adorable selfie. We had reconnected and started talking again not long before this, the 19 kids and counting alum gushed. "Oh, how much can change in a year. It has been wonderful sharing life with you, Stephen Wisman. I look forward to many more years together." Stephen, the brother of Jana's sister-in-law Jana Duggar, was first romantically linked to his future wife in December 2020, when she appeared in Christmas photos shared on the Wisman family blog. 2 months later, the two were spotted together once again at Chip Gaines and Joanna Gaines' Magnolia Market. They also spent July 4th together in 2021, according to The Sun. The Wismans were there performing. Jana was seen walking around the event with Stephen, The Sun reported at the time. However, split rumors ignited 2 months later after Stephen was spotted square dancing at a party without the former TLC star more than 4 years later. In Touch confirmed Jana and Stephen's relationship when the pair applied for a marriage license on August 14, 2024. The couple exchanged vows only one later at the Grand at Willow Springs, about 30 minutes from her family's compound in Tontatown, Arkansas. The ceremony was attended by 500 people, including their extended families and friends. Jana's sister Jessa Seawald was the maid of honor, while sisters Joanna Forsyth, Johanna Duggar, Jinga Vuolo, Jordan Duggar, and sister-in-law Abby Duggar were bridesmaids. Jana later revealed that she and Stephen were on and off in their romance until early 2024. "I think I've just been so guarded and just trying to protect and not really hurt again," she said, explaining that her now husband asked her out again via a handwritten letter. "I think people would probably seem like it's very weird, but I thought it was so sweet. Honestly, I think if he would have texted me, I would have been more like, hey dude, kind of get lost, I'm not really interested." The former TLC personality continued, "But I don't know, something about it really hit me. And I was like, he's so sweet. He really has been there, and how had I not noticed it and realized he is great, and I do love him, and I need to be willing to open up and to allow that." Jana explained they exchanged 2-3 letters back and forth before they started texting again, and just kind of on a basic friendship level there. For years, fans of the Duggar family have speculated about Jana Duggar's elusive love life. The oldest Duggar daughter, known for her grace, quiet strength, and devotion to family, had long remained single in the public eye, while her younger siblings moved on to courtships, marriages, and parenthood. But behind the scenes, Jana's story was far more complex and deeply personal than most imagined. Now, in a rare and heartfelt moment, Jana has opened up about one of the most whispered about chapters in her life: her brief romance with Stephen Wisman, their unexpected split, and the surprising quiet moment they found their way back to each other. A brief, hidden romance. It was late 2020 when murmurs first started circulating. Jana had been spotted spending time with the Wisman family in Nebraska, attending holiday gatherings, weddings, and family outings. While nothing was confirmed, fans began speculating that she was courting Stephen Wisman, a soft-spoken pilot, musician, and member of the large and similarly conservative Wisman family. Stephen, like Jana, came from a religious background that valued modesty, service, and strong family ties. Their values seemed aligned, and the quiet chemistry between them didn't go unnoticed, but as the months passed, things grew oddly silent. No courtship announcement came. No engagement photos. By mid-2021, it became clear that whatever had started between Jana and Stephen had either stalled or ended entirely. For almost 2 years, neither Jana nor Stephen said a word publicly about their relationship until now. Jana breaks her silence in a recent conversation shared in a Women's Retreat podcast. Jana finally addressed the rumors not with a tabloid headline or dramatic reveal, but with the quiet sincerity that fans have come to admire. "I've always believed some things are sacred," she said, "but I also know that silence can sometimes create more confusion than peace." Jana confirmed that she and Stephen had indeed entered a courtship in late 2020, calling it a sweet and sincere time where they truly explored the possibility of building a future together. But by early 2021, they realized they weren't on the same page spiritually, emotionally, or in terms of life goals. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't painful in the way people imagine. "We just needed space to grow on our own," Jana explained. A chance meeting rekindles an old flame after parting ways. Both Jana and Stephen continued their lives quietly. Jana remained at the Duggar family home in Arkansas, dedicating herself to her garden, home projects, and mentoring younger siblings. Stephen, meanwhile, focused on flying and helping with his family's ministry work. But in the fall of 2023, an unexpected event brought them together again. A mutual friend was getting married, and we both happened to be invited. Jana said neither of us expected anything. We hadn't spoken in over a year. But that evening, sitting under fairy lights at an outdoor wedding reception in Missouri, something shifted. There was no pressure. No plans. Just this peace, this sense of, maybe we needed that time apart to truly appreciate what we had. she shared. From there, they slowly began talking again, not as a couple but as old friends. Calls turned into visits, and visits turned into something deeper. According to Jana, they began officially dating again, this time more privately, in early February 2024. But they waited to tell their families and closest friends until they felt sure. "There's something about keeping things sacred, it helps you hear your own heart more clearly," she said. By May 2024, the two families had quietly reconnected as well. Unlike the whirlwind courtships often portrayed on TV, this was slower, more intentional. A relationship formed through second chances, patience, and a renewed sense of what truly matters. As of August 2025, Jana and Steven are still together, and while they remain private, Jana hinted that the future may hold big changes. "We're not rushing anything, we're just walking forward in peace," she said. Sometimes, love looks different the second time around, quieter, deeper, more sure. When asked if an engagement might be on the horizon, Jana smiled and gave the most Duggar-like answer imaginable: "We're trusting God's timing, but yes, we're very happy." Why this matters to fans. For fans who have followed the Duggar family's journey through fame, scandal, and change, Jana's story offers a refreshingly grounded and deeply human narrative. She isn't following a script, not from producers, not from expectations. She's charting her own course, even if it took a few quiet detours in a world obsessed with fast love and public validation. Jana Duggar and Steven Wisman's rekindled romance is a reminder that sometimes the best stories unfold when no one is watching, and that love, when it's real, always finds its way home. Jana Duggar, the famously single eldest daughter of the Duggar clan, just shook things up in a way no one saw coming. After years of being known as the one Duggar daughter who defied the family's infamous marriage timeline, Jana has not only tied the knot in a jaw-dropping off-the-shoulder gown but also revealed she's breaking yet another family tradition by enrolling in nursing school. Who knew the former Counting On star had so many surprises up her sleeve? The Duggars are one of reality TV's most notorious families, thanks to their show 19 Kids and Counting. Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar, parents to a whopping 19 children, raised their brood with ultra-conservative Christian values. The Duggar daughters, in particular, have been known for adhering to strict rules about modesty, courtship, and marrying young. The pressure was always on to get hitched and start popping out babies ASAP. But for Jana, now 34, marriage seemed to be a distant dream, or maybe even a nightmare. After years of being labeled the Cinderella Duggar who was destined to stay home forever, she's finally flipped the script. Jana is one of few Duggars to attend college. According to People, Jana enrolled at Northwest Arkansas Community College last year, making her the first Duggar sibling to attend a secular college. That's right, she's not just breaking away from the family's stay-at-home, get-married-young mantra, she's diving headfirst into higher education. Jana admitted to the magazine that nursing was something she'd always been interested in but didn't pursue until recently, and I was like, you know what, maybe this is more of the calling that I would be doing, and let me just pour myself into something, she said. And pour herself into it, she did. Jana's hard work and dedication have already paid off, as she recently made the Dean's List for the spring 2024 semester at NWAC. For those who need a refresher, the Dean's List includes students who've achieved a GPA between 3.5 and 4.0, so yeah, she's crushing it. Jana recently got married at age 34, but that's not all. Jana's journey into higher education also led her back to an old flame, Steven Wisman. After briefly dating a few years ago, the two rekindled their romance during her second semester of nursing school, got engaged in June, and tied the knot on August 15 in Prairie Grove, Arkansas. Talk about a whirlwind year. Jana's new husband, Steven, is no stranger to the Duggar family. He's been a family friend for years, and his sister Anna is married to Jana's brother, Josh. The Wismans, much like the Duggars, are a large, conservative Christian family with strong ties to their faith. The couple's wedding was a family affair, with Jana's sisters Jinga, Joy, Johanna, Jordan, and Jennifer serving as bridesmaids, and her bestie Jessa as maid of honor. Abby Duggar, who also happens to be a nurse, was right there by Jana's side too, further solidifying their close bond. So there you have it. Jana, the Duggar sister who was once thought to be stuck in singlehood, is now a married woman and a soon-to-be nurse. Whether she'll continue to break Duggar traditions or settle into a new rhythm remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, this Cinderella story is far from over. At 34, Jana Duggar, once the eldest Duggar daughter still unmarried after most of her siblings had tied the knot, took a bold step. Feeling called towards something meaningful beyond traditional expectations, She quietly enrolled in nursing school in 2023 at Northwest Arkansas Community College and even earned a spot on the dean's list for spring 2024 with a GPA in the 3.5 to 4.0 range during her second semester. Stephen Wisman, whom she had briefly dated years earlier, reached out again. They reconnected through a heartfelt letter and renewed conversation. Over time, Jana was drawn to his respectful patience, commitment, and deep character, qualities she valued above all. Their engagement came in June 2024, and just 2 months later, on August 15, 2024, they were married in Prairie Grove, Arkansas. The ceremony welcomed around 500 guests and was described as classic and elegant, with Jana's sisters serving as bridesmaids and Jessa as her maid of honor. Despite being moderate by celebrity standards, her sisters Joanna and Jana called it an intimate, heartfelt gathering that felt deeply personal. The wedding marked a turning point. Jana wore an off-the-shoulder gown and reportedly tried on a revealing backless dress during planning, choices that diverged from the Duggar family's strict modesty norms. Fans noted her mother's absence from significant pre-wedding events and saw this as a symbolic moment of Jana stepping away from the family's traditional expectations. Shortly after the wedding, she legally changed her social media name to Jana Wisman, signaling a personal and social shift. She and Stephen have since moved to Nebraska, where they are renovating a home and beginning their new life together. With her education underway, Jana is positioned to become a registered nurse upon completing her program. If she chooses to transfer to a nursing school in Nebraska, community colleges like Southeast Community College or Central Community College could be options for her continuing coursework and licensure. Jana Duggar's story is one of self-discovery, patience, and breaking free from long-standing family norms. By following her calling in nursing even before marriage and finally finding a partner who resonated with her values, she's charting a meaningful new chapter that balances faith, service, and independence. For years, Jana Marie Duggar had been the mystery of the Duggar family. As the oldest daughter in the famous 19 kids and counting clan, her younger sisters Jessa, Jana, Joanna, and even teenager Joanna had married, had children, and launched social media careers. While Jana remained quietly in the background, whispers followed her for a decade. Why hasn't she married? Is she too picky? Is she even allowed to leave Arkansas? Yet behind the scenes, something was shifting. Quietly, intentionally, a new path in secret. In fall 2023, without any fanfare, Jana enrolled in Northwest Arkansas Community College under her full legal name, choosing a course of study that shocked longtime followers of the conservative Duggar family. Nursing. This wasn't a short-term certificate. Jana dove into prerequisites, anatomy, pharmacology, and clinical math, knowing it would take at least 2 years to complete. But for the first time in her adult life, she was doing something entirely for herself. No filming, no family blog posts, no reality show confessionals, just lectures, labs, scrubs, and the late-night grind of exams. In spring 2024, Jana landed on the dean's list with a GPA of 3.5 or higher, a rare academic acknowledgement in Duggar world. And fans wouldn't even find out about it until later, when her name appeared on NWACC's public dean's list database. Love revisited. While school was consuming her focus, something unexpected happened. An old flame, Stephen Wisman, a soft-spoken pilot and businessman from Nebraska, reappeared in her life. They had once been romantically linked in 2021, but nothing ever came of it officially. Stephen, known for his musical talents and strong Christian faith, had long been seen by Duggar fans as a potential courtship match. Rumors swirled, but the courtship fizzled, or so people thought. In early 2024, the two quietly rekindled their friendship. Sources say it began with handwritten letters and occasional Zoom calls. But by April, Stephen made the trip to Arkansas. And by June, just 2 months later, he proposed in a secluded garden outside of Prairie Grove. No elaborate courtship rules. No Jim Bob approval tour. Just Jana and Stephen, both in their 30s, ready to take control of their story. The surprise wedding on August 15, 2024, Jana Duggar became Jana Wisman in a romantic ceremony attended by 500 close friends and family held at a countryside venue near Prairie Grove, Arkansas. The event felt far more personal and subdued than other Duggar weddings. There were no TLC cameras, no media exclusives. Just love, music, and whispered vows. Jessa, her younger sister, served as maid of honor. Joanna and Jana stood as bridesmaids. Her dress, a modest off-the-shoulder gown with a flowing train and intricate lace detail, far more contemporary than Duggar family norms. According to a source at the event, Jana looked radiant and relaxed, like someone who had finally stepped into her own life. But notably, Michelle Duggar was absent from the pre-wedding dress fitting. Fans speculated whether the dress's more revealing cut, Jana had tried on backless and form-fitted options, caused tension between mother and daughter. Breaking away from Duggar control after the wedding, Jana made a series of bold moves. First, she legally changed her name on social media to Jana Wisman, stepping away from her Duggar-branded image. Then she moved to Nebraska with Steven, leaving behind the Duggar compound and her role as second mother to younger siblings for the first time in her adult life. Finally, she announced she'd continue her nursing education in Nebraska, likely transferring to a new program. Options include Southeast Community College or Creighton University, where she could finish clinicals and pursue her registered nurse license. In an off-the-record interview with a former Duggar associate, the shift was described as the biggest break from the family since Jill Duggar walked away. A life of service, not spotlight. Jana's choice of nursing wasn't random. Insiders say she'd long volunteered at local shelters, senior homes, and women's clinics, always quietly. Her caretaking nature, honed from years of raising younger siblings, was finally being channeled into a professional passion. In her own words, she wrote, "I've always taken care of others. But now I'm learning how to do it on my own terms with science, compassion, and skill. I want to serve without a camera on my shoulder." Faith and feminism, some may call it rebellion, but for Jana, her transformation is deeply rooted in faith. Just not the rigid version she was raised under in Nebraska. She and Steven have joined a small church that emphasizes service, outreach, and education over patriarchy. They live in a modest home they're renovating themselves, and they've both reportedly spoken about adoption and foster care in the future. And while Jana still holds her values dear, she no longer appears bound by modesty codes or male leadership doctrines. Her wedding dress, her school choice, and her married life reflect a woman charting her own course with grace. Quiet defiance. It's hard not to see her story as a quiet form of resistance. While other family members face scandals, lawsuits, and public scrutiny, Jana is building something entirely different. A life away from cameras. Away from controversy. She never wrote a tell-all book. She didn't post rants on Instagram. She just walked away, gently, intentionally, and found a path in medicine, marriage, and self-respect. What comes next? As of August 2025, Jana is expected to complete her nursing program by late 2026. She may work in pediatrics or women's health, areas where she already has significant hands-on experience. She and Steven are planning a delayed honeymoon in Switzerland, and while she's not ruling out motherhood, sources say she's focused first on her career and community.